In the dim interrogation room, the prisoner sat inside. His expression was terrified, sweat profusely. A woman walked in with documents. She is the police officer in charge of this case. The man directly broke down mentally, screaming loudly. Close the door quickly. He's coming. You want to kill me. The woman closed the door helplessly, saying you don't get excited. Then looked at the suspect. Now, can you tell me what exactly happened? The man muttered uselessly. You won't believe it. The police officer was instantly furious. Now you still want to quibble. He threw his phone away. This is your family. How could you do that? In the video, the mother was holding the child on the ground. Next to it was a family portrait drawn by the child and a broken belt. The man subconsciously glanced at it and then pointed tremblingly at the police officer's back. He said tremblingly, "Okay, someone is coming." He's coming. Sujin suddenly turned his head. But the man saw a red world. Looked normal to him. When he looked back, he found that the man had already crawled under the table. In his eyes, the whole world kept cracking, and countless eyes staring at him in the cracks. More and more. Su Jing said, "Zhang Yi, I advise you not to play tricks. Mr. Zhang Yi, Mr. Zhang Yi, Mr. Zhang Yi." He instantly overturned the table, screaming, "Don't care." But he put his hand directly into his mouth. His vision began to blur, and his eyes became clearer. Su Jing's voice became more and more blurred. "Zhang the Sir, you wake up. Come on, is it hypnosis murder?" It will be the high school ghost society. In the activity room, several people were playing games with their eyes and telling stories. He pinched himself and said he would die like this. The friend next to him was scared out of his wits. "You're telling a ghost story. I feel like I'll see ghosts at night." The fat guy glanced at him and said, "Who told you it's a ghost story? It's already a hot topic." Then he whispered, "I heard it was because of a photo. Anyone who has seen it will die." Then he took out his phone and started looking for the photo. He snatched it away, saying, "If we really saw the photo, we would all die." But there was a sound of keyboard tapping. "Are you talking about this?" The two turned around. They saw a picture of an eye on the forum. They were scared to death. He said calmly, "Don't worry. Those who died had a guilty conscience. That's why they ended up like this." Then he got up and left. The two were not late. "Why are you going back so early? Why do you look like an old man?" He just waved his hand. He looked indifferent when he got home. His name is Yon Zhenxi. He is an ordinary college student. A month ago, he heard a strange sound in the library. The source of the sound was a book. He opened it out of curiosity, and then he appeared in a parallel world. He was still a student in this world. His parents died in a plane crash. The inheritance and insurance compensation left him well off. But his life has entered a countdown. He only has 30 days to live. He touched the necklace around his neck. A book appeared in front of him. If he wants to extend his life, he must write urban legends to obtain the top grade. The stories written in this notebook will all come true, and the first story he wrote was the photo. The legend was inspired by the mother and daughter next door. And then in the room, anyone who has seen this photo and bullied their family will see the eyes, which will make people mentally collapse and eventually commit suicide. And the person who is executed will be reflected in the notebook. On June 7th, a man named Nakano came home from a party because his wife didn't prepare the hot bath water. He took out his belt. It lasted so long that the belt broke in two. The mother protected the child and fell in a pool of blood. He finally gained 2 popularity points and 370 and 3,700 transmission points. Then he closed the book. It's been a month. His lifespan has changed from 30 to 92. It seems that he needs to find new inspiration to punish evil. The next day after school, he went to the ghost club as usual. He thought he could get some inspiration there. But it turned out to be a game club. So he sent a message saying he wouldn't go today and went back to sleep. He suddenly noticed the alley next to him. The yellow-haired shouted angrily that he only took 50 yuan. "I'll tell the teacher." The little-eyed one didn't listen to his pleas and shouted, "I was wrong. I was wrong." Yuan Zhenxi sneered. "You 5 against 1. You're really something." Huang Mao immediately walked over with a stick. "Mind your own business." The younger brother behind stammered, "It's Yuan." Yuan Zhenxi sneered. At this moment, the breeze blew past his clothes. He laughed and said, "I didn't expect someone to know me." But his younger brother had already grabbed the yellow hair. "Boss, that guy is a tough guy. Last time we blocked him with 5 people. And now 3 of us are still in the hospital." The yellow-haired immediately threw away the stick. "Go the other way. You're lucky. Let's go eat." The saved classmate shouted thank you and even bowed 90 degrees. Yuan Zhenxi walked further and further. "Thank you, and I want to thank you too. I also want to thank you." After going home, he kept looking up information. Sure enough, this kind of thing is everywhere. They like to bully those who can't fight back. Then he wrote feverishly, "As long as they are given weapons to resist, to root out the root of violence." The second story is called Hell Communication. Whenever it's quiet at night, a website called Hell Communication will appear. Enter the name of the person you resent, and you can see a girl from the underworld. In that world, the other side flowers are everywhere. The girl's name is Yuming An. You don't deserve to wail, but a group of people around were excited and even took out their phones to record, saying, "You even learned to put on makeup. What's the use? Do you dare to resist? Your teacher and parents don't care about you." But she gritted her teeth and took out a flower from her bag, saying, "Let's go to hell together." The next second, the face will become hideous. Then he rotated his head 360 degrees. The video ends. The assistant looked at his phone and said, "As of 8 a.m., 200 people have died strangely. And their deaths were exactly the same as yours." Then the policy said that this is our special section chief, Guan Qingyi, and the only one who can save you now. His clear eyes condensed. "She is the girl of the underworld. Tell him what you know." He trembled all over. A few days ago, at midnight, in his forum, a strange post that couldn't be deleted appeared. And it was directly pinned. It said that as long as you enter the name of the person, he would appear and take away the wicked Everyone thought it was someone's prank, but didn't take it seriously. But someone wanted to test its authenticity. He waited until midnight. The web page really appeared. The computer kept dripping blood. He wrote down Lao key without hesitation and then pressed the enter key. He was a vulnerable group in the school. That day he was splashed with water all over. He found the teacher, but the teacher said, "Why didn't they find you?" and asked him to reflect on himself. After the teacher finished scolding, he continued to read the book on getting rich. When he got home, he told his mother he wanted to transfer, but his mother threw a dishcloth in his face. "You're grown up. Knowing how hard your father and I worked, how hard your father and I have worked." After that, the gangsters became more reckless. He had no expectations for his life. After a long time, the page didn't change. Tears flowed down uncontrollably. It's really a lie. But the tears turned into blood the moment they fell. "Are you looking for me?" He looked up. He saw a girl standing in front of him. He looked up. The flowers of Other Shore were all around. This is the underworld. He was scared and kept backing away. Yuming loves to laugh. A ethereal voice came out. "Don't be afraid, I can end your nightmare." Then she bent down and said, "Take him to pick off the petals. In the contract city, the person you resent will be exiled to hell, and the price is that you go to hell with him." The girl's pupils dilated. "Will you die together?" "Why?" "The ghost's eyes are cold. Those who curse others will be plagued, and their souls will fall into hell after death, suffering, and cannot go to the pure land of bliss." Then she came behind him. "Now the choice is yours." In the office, the girl was crying. With clear eyes. The girl exudes a black air of curse. "The girl has not been in contact with strange people recently." Then he touched his chin. "That means the curse only affects the contracted person." Then he took off his gloves. Her right hand can also twist. The white bones were exposed. The thief's hand. It can steal all abilities, including curses. Lang Lang received. "Don't move, I'm calling you." But the assistant's eyes moved. The so-called thief's hand is a life-threatening ability. When using it, something will be stolen in reverse. Or liver or skin, or even the heart. Over time, the girl's curse is being pulled. A flower of Other Shore appeared. The glass in the office was directly broken. Yuan Zhensi in the same school seemed to feel it. She turned around. That direction is the principal's office. Then, in the spiritual world, a pair of eyes opened instantly. The surrounding discussions gradually became clear. "Did you hear? Will the black market die? He bullies Guria every day." Gulia was just called to the office. Gulia? On his notebook, there was a record about Gulia. The number of people sent to hell has increased recently. In order to prevent innocent people from being harmed, only those with enough resentment could see the link. Yesterday, his lifespan increased to 99 days. After Lin Li, there was a plus sign. He directly used. He exchanged good and evil points for a little. There was not much change. So he clicked on domestic violence 8 times. His eyes suddenly turned red and directly touched the human body's limit and passed out. He jumped lightly in the corridor. He jumped dozens of steps directly. His physical senses and qualities were directly enhanced several times. Then he touched the necklace. Over time, he might become a Superman with infinite lifespan. But saw Qingzi and others not far away. To lift the curse, he contacted the special section of security. Someone will come to take Guriya away later.